Roller derby is played in increments called jams. Each jam lasts up to 2 minutes. Both teams field up to 5 skaters at the start of the jam. 4 of these skaters are called blockers, and 1 is called the jammer. The jammer wears a helmet cover with a star on it and scores points for the team. The blockers are playing both offense and defense at the same time, and together they make up what is called the pack. The 2 jammers start each jam behind the pack and must get through all of these skaters for an initial pass before they can begin to score points. When the initial pass is complete, a jammer can score 1 point for every opponent they pass with their hips. The first jammer out of the pack legally is declared lead jammer, which means they can end the jam anytime they want before the 2 minutes are up. Sounds easy, right?
What I do with the Zoom now, Candy.
Man, you can yell at me now. I'm sure I'll answer the question.
What?
You can yell at me now.
I'm not gonna answer.
That's fine. Oh my goodness. I'm like, what the shit? I don't know what I did.
It's technical. Listen, you're gonna let me do the camera.
Good afternoon, and we'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to catch our game here at the Hanover YWCA in South Central Pennsylvania. Our home team, the Black Rose Roller Riveters, are playing our friends from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That is the Zom-Bees. The Zom-Bees is the B team of the league known as Pittsburgh Roller Derby. This is a closed game, so that means that this is not really a public thing. The YWCA has some limitations as to what we can and can't do here, so not much of a crowd, but thank you for tuning in with us. We are running a live chat during the game, so go ahead and type your comments, and we'll engage with you. We're doing some warm-ups right now. We've got about 5 minutes to first whistle. Okay, so our teams are warming up, and they're getting their chants going on here on their benches. Let's go through and talk about who's skating today. Our visiting team here, that is the Pittsburgh Zom-Bees. They're wearing the white uniforms today. Skating for the Zom-Bees, we have number 00, Flux Given. Number 100, Dragon Body. Number 1357, Hawk. 172, Jackson. 379, Thunderbottom. We've got number 42, Mr. Sergai. Number 707, Paul Barrier. Wearing number 8, REO Meanwagon. Number 9, Pitbull Dozer. Number 916, Phoenix. Number 98, Case O' the Mondays. And the captain of the Pittsburgh Roller Derby Zom-Bees, number 13, Kitty Black. Those are our Zombie skaters coming to us from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And our home team here from Hanover, this is the Black Rose Rollers, the Black Rose Riveters. Skating for the Riveters today, we've got number 11, Ratchet. Number 13, Goody Two-Shoe. 1971, Snap Sabbath. Number 212, Die. Number 2121, Dangle Sauce. Wearing 229, we have Sparky. Number 25, Sugar. With number 36, Meanie, we have number 411, Beauty and a Beast. Wearing number 42, Cinderella. 64, Cruzella. Wearing number 717, Peroxide. Number 78, Windhover. Number 825, Rotten to the Quarry. And number 83, Grit and Barrett, but I don't believe Grit is here. Captain of the Riveters today is number 411, Beauty and a Beast. Bacon for Mercy is one of our scorekeepers, and she's looking at my roster. I don't think she appreciated the shout out. We have a full staff of referees and NSOs for our game too here. Our NSOs for the game, we have Matteo working the head NSO position. We've also got Rage, Moxie, Bacon for Mercy, Stretch, Ram, Sarah Vicious, Tank, PTSD, Ashley Thomas, and Austin. Refereeing today's game on skates, our head referee, French Thwarter. And we've also got Dash Ketchum, Olive Havoc, Biohazard, Jen Hex, and Spock and Awe. So Mr. Sergai coming around us, getting a little bit of a hand clap going on here. I think Friends to Order is giving us a thumbs up. They're trying to determine if we are getting ready to go to start our game. We're down to about 35 seconds to first whistle, so our referees are taking their position on the track. We're getting a little hand heart from Frenchie, so that means there's some love between our stream team here and our officials. There's our jam timer, Raging Rapunzel, getting ready to start the action. Our inside pack referee up front there in the yellow helmet, that's Dash Ketchum. Frenchie working in the rear inside head ref position. All right, there's a very pronounced rolling whistle. So that's going to go ahead and bring us to the beginning of the game. And I am mistaken. I do see Grit and Barrett here. So we do have the full roster of the Riveter skaters on the track. So starting on this first jam of the game, number 00, Flux Given, wearing the star for Pittsburgh, and Flux is our lead jammer. Dangle Sauce 2121 has the star for the Riveters. Now Dragon Body sends Dangle Sauce out of bounds coming around the turn. Dangle Sauce just being recycled to the back of the pack there twice in a row by Dragon Body. Flux Given comes out with a 4-point pass. Okay, so both jammers are out. Flux Given coming in on first round of points. Dangle Sauce comes in, approaches the back of the pack, but Flux Given calls off the jam before Dangles can score any points. So that's going to be a 0-point jam for Black Rose. 4-point scoring pass for Pittsburgh. Okay, going into a timeout called by our officials. Looks like we're just taking care of some scoreboard issues here before we move into our second jam of the game. Still in the midst of this timeout called by our officials. Okay, so a little bit of a change to the scoreboard. Looks like there was an 8-point jam by Pittsburgh, 2 4-point passes before Flux Given called it off. So I think we're going to go ahead and move into our next jam here pretty shortly. Okay, so our NSO is returning back to the track. Mr. Sergai on the jam line for Pittsburgh. And captain number 411, Beauty and the Beast, has a jammer star for the Riveters. And that whistle ends the timeout. So we're going to move into jam number 2 here in just a few seconds. And there it is. Rage blows the whistle. So we got 411 Beauty and the Beast versus number 42, Mr. Sergai. And Mr. Sergai is out, so 2 leads in a row for Pittsburgh. Beast is stuck in the back of the pack. Pittsburgh walling up with a tripod against Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast still stuck on this initial. Looks like there may have been a star pass. Yes, it is. Okay, so Beast passing that star off to Rotten to the Corey. Mr. Sergei coming in on a 4-point pass. Signals the call-off. So no points could be scored there by Black Rose, even with Rotten to the Corey in possession of the star. 4 points picked up for Pittsburgh, so looks like that's going to move us up into 12 points for Pittsburgh, and the Black Rose Riveters still stuck at 0. Out to jam next for Black Rose, number 64, Cruzella. And I think we've got number 1357, a Hawk out there on the jammer line for the Zom-Bees, but Cruzella, number 64, picks up the first lead in the game for Black Rose. So now Cruzella in control. Snap Sabbath putting a hit on the Hawk. Now Sugar working some defense to the front of the pack against Hawk, but Hawk is out, completes that initial pass. Now Cruzella winding up to score some points for Black Rose. Jackson guarding the back of the pack right now. Jackson stays in the pack, scoots up front to work some more defense for Pittsburgh. Cruzella now in a pretty stagnant pack. Snap Sabbath trying to break up that Pittsburgh defense for her jammer. But we're running kind of a stagnant pack right around the turn. Both jammers are in the pack. And Cruzella comes up to the front. Dragon Body and Jackson are working some defense at the front of the pack. Hawk comes out with a 4-point scoring pass, and Cruzella calls it off. It looks like that's going to be a 4-4 jam for each of our teams. So that's going to bring Black Rose's first 4 points on the board, and that's also going to add 4 to Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh in the lead now, 16-4. I think number 00, No Flux Given, is back out there for Pittsburgh on the jammer line. Trying to catch the Black Rose jammer. Okay, so we have 717 Peroxide jamming for Black Rose, and she is stuck in the pack. No Flux Given has a Pittsburgh lead. Meanie and Ratchet kind of working some defense in the back of the pack. Ratchet sending No Flux Given out of bounds. Grit and Barrett being called off. I believe that was a back block penalty, and that jam is called off. So 4 more for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh now has a 16-point lead at 20 over Black Rose. Now they're still stuck at 4.
Okay. What's her number? Wind cover?
All right, and Rage blows the whistle to start the jam again. Mr. Sergei is out there. Mr. Sergei sails through the pack, taking advantage of a hole on the inside. So 5 jams in the game. Pittsburgh has lead now for 4 of them. I think we have number 25, Sugar, with the star for Black Rose. Yeah, we do. Okay, so Sugar jamming for Black Rose. Mr. Sergei is our lead jammer. Goody Two-Shoe working the defense in the front of the pack. Looks like those two skaters collide. Nope. Looks like everything was legal there. So Mr. Sergei comes out with a 4-point pass. Sugar still stuck on this initial pass. Looks like she's having some trouble getting past Pittsburgh's defense. Hawk and Jackson and Dragon Body doing some defensive blocking. Grit and Barrett sending Mr. Sergei out of bounds and drawing the cut. Black Rose loses their jammer to a track cut. So Sugar's in the box. This is going to be a power jam for Pittsburgh. So far, okay, so 2 scoring passes complete by Mr. Sergei. So far, an 8-point jam for Pittsburgh. That penalty is not helping Black Rose right now. They haven't scored in about 3 jams, and their jammer is still seated in the box. Mr. Sergei is at the pack. Grit and Barrett sending Sergei out of bounds, and he goes for the call-off after putting 2 more points on the board. So a 10-point jam for Mr. Sergei. I think you have Case of the Mondays wearing the Jammer Star for the Pittsburgh Zom-Bees, and this is a power star for Pittsburgh. Okay, and Sugar comes out of the box after that earlier penalty in the last jam and picks up a Black Rose lead, second lead in the game for Black Rose. And here comes Sugar. She's in the pack. Pittsburgh walls up with a full four wall. Kitty Black working some defense there along with Pitbull Dozer. Meanie coming in trying to break up that pack a little bit for Sugar. But Sugar finds herself trapped once again behind all four Pittsburgh blockers. Now Ario Meanwagon holding up a bridge. So now only two blockers between Sugar and that scoring pass being completed. Kitty Black holding solid. But Sugar does come out with another 4 points for Black Rose. Case of the Mondays now has taken that star off of her helmet. Meanie sends Queso out of bounds. Meanie and Di and Sparky are working in a tripod. So a lot of good defensive skill on Black Rose right now in that back defensive wall. Meanie is one of the Pennsylvania All-Stars skaters. Sparky has a lot of skill underneath her skates too. So they are just relentlessly holding back Case of the Mondays. Our whole pack right now is actually pretty stagnant. Not a whole lot going on. Sugar is up front, but Pippo Dozer guards that inside the outside line coming around the apex. Sugar has knocked out of bounds by Dozer and is forced to recycle. So Queso passing the star over to Dozer now. Still running a pretty tight pack. Not a whole lot going on. Not a whole lot of action. Sugar does call off the jam before Dozer can come in. Dozer looks like did have two points at the end of all that, and Sugar with possibly 3. So let's see what our scoreboard is saying. Black Rose now up to 11 points. And Pittsburgh at 32. Captain of the Riveters, beating the Beast, has a Jammer Star for Black Rose, but Pittsburgh has a lead. This is number 379, Thunderbottom in control. And Thunderbottom is in. Beating the Beast, knocked out of bounds to the infield. Thunderbottom pulls off a 4-point scoring pass. Beast still stuck on her initial. Thunderbottom coming in for a second round of points. Ratchet holding up the brace of a tripod. 825, Rotten to the Quarry working the back of that tripod, setting Thunderbottom out of bounds. Rotten running Thunder all the way to the back of the pack. And it looks like Rotten to the Quarry might have gone out of bounds. So that allowed Thunderbottom to re-enter in front of Rotten. And Thunderbottom is out. Another 4 points for Pittsburgh on the board. Beauty and the Beast not getting any mercy. It looks like Jackson sent Beauty and the Beast out of bounds on the apex. Thunder coming in for the third round of 4 points. Cinderella going out with Thunderbottom. Full skaters re-enter the track now. Ratchet working a solo at the front of the pack against Thunder. Ratchet now being joined by Cinderella. So a 2-wall of Black Rose blockers putting some blocking on Thunderbottom. And Thunderbottom gets past Ratchet, completes a 4-pointer. So I believe this is a 12-point jam. Highest scoring jam of the game so far. And Thunderbottom going in for another round of points. Beauty and the Beast is still on her initial pass. Pittsburgh certainly walling up in the back of the pack. Jackson and Hawk working those two butts of that tripod. This jam is over. And I believe that's a 15-point jam. That it is. That's going to bring Pittsburgh up to 47 points. After all that work, Beating the Beast did not even complete the initial pass on that. So Black Rose still stuck at 11 points. We got about 18 minutes left to our first half. Okay, 0-0, no flux. I'm sorry, flux given. Third time Flux has jammed, and third time Flux has gotten lead. Oh, Flux stepping around the apex. Gets past Snap Sabbath, breaks free of the pack, makes a quick 4 points, calls it. So the Zombies now sitting at 51 points. Black Rose still trailing at 11 points. Black Rose putting out 717 Peroxide to jam next. And it looks like Hawk has the star for the Zombies. So running a pretty tight pack. Our penalty box is empty. So this is a 5-on-5 jam. Hawk goes in, tries to complete an initial pass, but Meany steps in the way, holding Hawk back. Peroxide is at the front of the pack, but Dragon Body is working some defense. Dragon Body now joined by Jackson. Peroxide sent to the back of the pack. Meany trying to break that pack up. Now 3 Pittsburgh blockers have cycled to the front of the pack against Peroxide. Ario Meanwagon being called off on a penalty, so a little bit of an advantage for Peroxide, but those two blockers, Jackson and Dragon Body, if you've seen the Undead play, they are two very strong skaters. You get them together, and they're going to block. Okay, so a no pack was declared. They had to let Peroxide go, so Peroxide does break free. This is the third lead in the game for Black Rose. Okay, Hawk landing a hit on Peroxide at the back of the pack. Hawk working side by side with Kitty Black. Star pass over to number 172, Jackson. Okay, and Peroxide scores 4 more points, calls off the jam. So looks like that might have been a 4-0 jam in favor of the Riveters. So it is 51 now to 15. Mr. Sergei back out there in that double rotation, wearing the star for Pittsburgh. Let's see who we have jamming for the Riveters. Okay, number 64, Cruzella. Again, we have another 5-on-5 jam. Sugar and Snap Sabbath were working some blocking at the front of the pack, but Mr. Sergei is past them and picks up lead. Those are chasing Cruzella out of the pack. Both jammers now out and are in point scoring positions. Mr. Sergei is in on a scoring pass. Right into the quarry, and Sugar working some defense. It's a 1-0 jam. Yeah. You know, Pinky, nobody said you couldn't come here. I mean, after all, Pittsburgh is your team, and they could have brought an announcer with them. And I have 2 headsets. I even offered to let Bacon from Mercy announce with me, but she would rather do scorekeeping. So I have an open mic. Hey, 00 Flux Given is out there. Now I feel like I'm going to be judged for everything I say because Pinky is listening on the live feed. Okay, 21-21 Dangle Sauce has that star for Black Rose. But Flux comes out with 4 points and calls it. Okay, moving into our next jam here. I had to take a bit of a water break. Beauty and the Beast has that star for Black Rose. Beast has made some progress to the front of the pack, but she has taken on a tripod. Meanwagon in the back there, and Meanwagon and those are working side by side. Queso holding up the front of that tripod. 1357 Hawk has a star, and Hawk's our lead jammer. Looks like Meany might have put a hit there on Hawk. Just as I was writing down my points, Hawk went down, and that jam was called off. So Black Rose, they're still stuck at 15 points. Pittsburgh now up 57. This is running a pretty quick game here. We're not really seeing a whole lot of timeouts or reviews. We're just moving from one jam into the other. 64 Cruzella has a start for Pittsburgh, but she's just Jackson's working that defense at the back of the pack, just sending Cruzella out of bounds. Mr. Surga, number 42, has a Pittsburgh lead. Cruzella still stuck on her initial. Jackson once again kind of working a solo defense, just sending Cruzella out of bounds. Oh, Dangle Sauce puts a hit on Mr. Surgai just as Mr. Surgai tries to complete that scoring pass. So Mr. Surgai sent on a bounce right around the turn. Oh, Jackson sending now Sugar. Sugar now has the star for Black Rose. And Sugar was sent on a bounce. Mr. Surgai coming out with 4 points. Cinderella and Cruzella working the back of a tripod against Mr. Surgai. Mr. Surgai has a little bit of trouble getting through the pack and makes the call off. Looks like that's going to be a 5-point. I had to say it. Okay, we are now have our head referee, Fred Swarter, calling for a official timeout, sitting at Pittsburgh 62 and Black Rose 15. It was a 5-point jam for Pittsburgh before that jam was called off. Black Rose had about 5 or 6 here scoreless jams, so that's just an indication of some of the defense that Pittsburgh is working. They're keeping that jammer stuck. Our referees taking a moment here in the middle of the track to regroup and hydrate. You can see Olive Havoc there. Olive Havoc is working some jam refereeing along with Jen Hex. Those are our 2 jammer referees. We have Dash Ketchum working the inside pack. Fred Slaughter working the rear inside pack, also the head referee. So Black Rose is taking a bit of a break here in home games until I believe August. So here in a few weeks, Black Rose will be traveling to Akron, Ohio. There's going to be a doubleheader in Akron on the weekend of the 20th of May. I believe Akron will be playing Black Rose, and then Youngstown, Ohio, with our friend Cherry Bomb, will also be playing. So that's going to be a doubleheader. And then we're staying the night because the next morning there'll be a handful of games with our juniors, the Black Rose juniors, and the junior team out there, Crooked River. After that, I think Black Rose is taking a bit of a break. The next game that I see on the schedule here is going to be right here on August 6th. That's a doubleheader against Steel City. Flux Given, number 00, out there with the jammer star for Pittsburgh. And I think that's Peroxide jamming for Black Rose. That is. So both jammers suck on their initial passes now. Ratchet and Meany working some defense in the front of the pack. Meany goes for one final hit on Flux Given, but Flux Given gets ahead of Meany. Peroxide stuck in the pack on this initial. Ariel Meanwagon sends Peroxide out of bounds and draws the cut. So Peroxide forced to recycle and is now stuck at the back of the pack once again. Flux Given comes out with 4 points. Don't threaten me like that, Pinky. All right, second scoring pass completed by Flux Given. So an 8-point jam so far by Pittsburgh. So our stream team operator, number 2121 Dangle Sauce, is actually playing in the game today. Dangles is the main operator of our stream team. But hey, we have the family, the stream team family here, working next to us. So we certainly still have you covered, even though this is a closed game. We still want to bring you some of our Derby action. This is at the YWCA. Our normal games for Black Rose are at the Magic Elm Skateland here in Hanover, but we had to have this here today, and because of the limitations of this venue, we can't really have a crowd. Even if we could, it's like a cave in here. It's very echoey. So Black Rose going for a team timeout. We're about 9 minutes left to the first half of the game. I don't feel like I can blame Cherry Bomb for anything. She's just so helpful and humble to the sport, and she does everything. So we see Cherry Bomb skating and coaching and reffing. The only thing she hasn't done is announce. So I'm going to pass putting the blame on her. If she was here, I think we could do that. 74-15. Pittsburgh still with a pretty heavy lead in the game. That team timeout expiring. We've got Mr. Sergei, number 42, back on the jammer line. And I think coming out to jam for the first time is number 78, Windover. Oh. Oh, rotten to the quarry and Goody Two-Shoe working a two-wall against Mr. Sergei, keeping Mr. Sergei from breaking out of the pack. So the lead jammer position is still open. We're running kind of a tight pack right now. Rotten to the quarry scoots to the front, working some more defense. Oh, and Mr. Sergei gets past Corey. Where is Cherry Bomb? How come she's not sitting in on this video? Well, she might be. She's not at Mars. She's probably got something going on in Ohio with her 7 leagues. Okay, number 25, Sugar receives us. I'm not sure what I just saw. It looks like. Okay, so it was not a legal star pass. I caught the tail end of it where I saw the pivot give the star back to the jammer, and that kind of raised a red flag, but looks like that star pass was not legal from the start, so it's all good. Dangle Sauce back on the jammer line. And Hawk has a star for Pittsburgh. Meany guarding the inside line against Hawk. Okay, and Dangle Sauce picking up lead for Black Rose. Sparky goes for a hit on Hawk, but Hawk gets past Sparky before Sparky hits the ground. Now Dangle Sauce coming in on a scoring pass. Oh, Dragon Body putting some walking on Dangle Sauce. Dangle Sauce scoots through the pack, comes out of there on one skate, scores 4 points, and makes a very dramatic theatrical call off. Hey, it works. Finally, Black Rose able to score some points. It's probably been about 7 jams since they've been stuck on 15. Seven minutes to go to our first period. Flux Given back out there again. I don't know how Flux isn't getting tired. I'm getting tired just watching Flux. Okay, so Flux gets out, gets past Rotten the Quarry. Rotten the Quarry actually goes out of play. This is a 5-on-5 jam. Black Rose, let's see what they've got. Okay, I think they have Beauty and the Beast out there to jam, but Beast might have taken off her star. Oh, Cinderella sending Flux out of bounds right around the pivot line. Pittsburgh is losing Mean Wagon to the penalty box. Okay, 4-point pass now completed by Flux. Black Rose still stuck on this initial pass. Their jammer has not yet come out of the pack. And Beast passing that star over to number 825, Rotten to the Corey. Flux calls off that gem before Rotten can come in and put any points on the board. So a 4-0, bringing Pittsburgh up to 82. Black Rose 19. Mr. Sergai out there. And it looks like it's 47 because of how the Pittsburgh team has their numbers on their jersey. And Mr. Sergai versus Cruzella, and Cruzella has a Black Rose lead. Mr. Sergai stuck at this initial pass. Dye is holding it inside line, saw along with Sparky. But Mr. Sergai gets past those and completes an initial pass. Meanwhile, at the back of the pack, Cruzella working against Pittsburgh's defense. Cruzella goes for the call-off, but not before putting 2 points on the board as signaled by Olive Havoc. That's going to bring Black Rose now up to 21. Oh, a false start called by Fred Thwarter, which is not an actual penalty. It's just a warning, so hopefully it doesn't get escalated. Okay, so it looks like we got Dragon Body with the star for Pittsburgh. I knew it was somebody new. I just couldn't make out who it was. No pack declared by Frenchie, so everybody has to stop and regroup. Peroxide breaks out, so 2 leads in a row for Black Rose. Peroxide now coming in on her first round of points. Now, number 707, Paul Barrier, working some pretty strong defense. Paul Barrier and Phoenix I think it's Phoenix working in a tripod. Kitty Black working to brace that tripod. It is proven to be very effective. You can see Peroxide attacking that tripod with all of her might. Oh, she rolls past Kitty Black. Very impressive offense by Peroxide as she comes out with a 4-point scoring pass to Black Rose. Now, Dragon Body making a hit on Peroxide at the back of the pack, but Peroxide actually finding a little bit of speed. She makes the call off just as Paul Barrier receives a star pass. So we might have an 8-point lead for Black Rose. No, okay. Yeah, it is an 8-point jam for Black Rose, and it might actually be their highest scoring jam in the game. I'm not entirely sure. But that's, according to my unofficial records, Pittsburgh had a scoreless jam. They're still at 83. Yeah, we don't see Dragon Body announced too often. We Pinky and I, we kind of troll all the Pittsburgh Undead games. I get out there when I can, but she does all of their games, and we see Dragon Body as one of their powerhouse blockers. I think this might be my first time seeing Dragon Body jam. Okay, so that timeout now coming to an end. 3 minutes to go to our first period. Cruzella out there for Black Rose. Flux given again. I don't know where he gets the energy. Okay, so we're not seeing a whole lot of penalties. Box relatively empty. We've had a few penalties here and there, but certainly nothing major. Flux given breaks out with a Pittsburgh lead, now coming in on a scoring pass. Black Rose holding an entire defense at the back of the pack. It's like Rotten to the Corey and Dye are working some of that defense. And Flux given is out with 4 points for Pittsburgh. Cruzella effectively getting some blocking there by Pittsburgh. Now they're throwing a 3-wall at her. Looks like Hawk and Thunderbottom working some defense there. Pit Bulldozer also in that defensive wall. And it's very effectively stopping the Black Rose Jammer. Flux Given coming out now, waiting for another round of points. Cruzella passing that star over to the pivot. That's number 25, Sugar. And that jam is over. So another 4 on the board. That's going to bring Pittsburgh up to 94-29. Okay, Dangle Sauce back out to the jam for Black Rose. Let's see. Okay, Dangle Sauce is our lead jammer. And I think that's Mr. Sergai out there to jam for the Zom-Bees. Black Rose strengthening their defense. Grit and Barrett working some blocking there side by side with, I think that was Dye and Sparky, also part of that wall. I also see Meanie in there with some defense. So they're Black Rose doing some very effective blocking right now up against Mr. Sergai. This is a scoring pass for Dangles. Now Dangles got a couple of hits there but stayed in bounds. So Black Rose pulling out 4 points on that scoring pass. Now a star pass over to Jackson. So Jackson kind of coming up in the back of the pack right now. Dangles getting numerous commands to call off the jam from the Black Rose bench. And that jam is called off. 3 more points, so it could be a 7-point jam for Black Rose. Let's see. Black Rose coming up to 40 points at the end of that. And let's see if we're going to squeeze one more jam out of this or if we're going to move into halftime. Okay, we're going to have one more jam. Beauty and the Beast is out there for Black Rose. And I think we have a Hawk jamming for the Zom-Bees. And Hawk's our lead jammer. Beauty and the Beast is I believe, a 9 or 10-year vet of the Black Rose Rollers. Now Beast is being stuck behind a tripod. Thunderbottom sending Beast out of bounds coming around the turn. Paul Barrier holding up that tripod against Beast. Now the Does are also working some very fluid block in the back of the pack against Beast. Hawk gets past Cinderella, picks up 4 points. Likely that they're going to break the 100-point mark by the end of this jam. Now Hawk creeping up to the back of the pack. Hawk gets past Cinderella. Dozer sending Beast out of bounds and forcing her to recycle the back of the pack. Now Dozer, a one-man defense at the back of the pack, just moving back and forth with Beast. Hawk goes for the call-off. That's going to break the 100-point mark for Pittsburgh. We're going into halftime now at 102 versus Black Rose Riveters 40. And the rolling whistle means that this is official. So we're going to take a 15-minute break. I'm going to grab some water, and we'll come back to you in a few moments with some more roller derby action. Okay, so we're moving back into the second half of our game, and looks like now we got Nitro on the feed with us. So welcome Nitro to the game, and thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, we're waiting on you.
Okay, we're moving right into the second half of the game. Things are moving here pretty quickly. So going into the second half, Black Rose at 40, Pittsburgh at 102. Running a pretty tight pack off that jammer line. Nobody really has broken out and picked up a lead yet. We have number 64, Cruzella with the star for Black Rose. And let's see who we have. We probably have... Okay, we have 1357 Hawk out there jamming for Pittsburgh. Now, Hawk was sent out of bounds and drawn the whole way to the back of the pack. Okay, Meanie working some defense. Oh, no, Meanie is actually at the front of the pack with her teammate Cruzella trying to break up that wall. Pittsburgh maintaining a 3-wall up against Cruzella. Now Dragon Body is working solo defense the front of the pack. Dragon Body makes a hit, but Cruzella actually keeps her toe stops in bounds. So Cruzella comes out of that with lead jammer. Oh, Sparky putting a hit on Hawk, and you can kind of hear the soul leave Sparky's body when she went in for that hit. Oh, Hawk sent out of bounds. Meanie doing that now. Meanie taking the rollback on Hawk, forcing Hawk to reset at the back of the pack. This is a scoring pass underway by Cruzella. Cruzella now getting blocked by Thunderbottom and Kitty Black, working in a tripod there along with Dragon Body. Dragon Body now doing some blocking against Sparky and Cruzella. Those 4 whistles blow, so I'm not even sure any points are scored in that jam. Okay, no. Our jam referee Jen Hex is saying that 3 points were picked up by Black Rose. Scoreless jam for Pittsburgh, so 43 now to 102. We have 00 flux given, and I cannot see the jammer for Black Rose. It's a very tiny jammer, so that has to be number 411, Beauty and a Beast. Flux given. Looks like Flux given was hit out of bounds by Ratchet, and Ratchet rolled him back. Black Rose certainly picking up their defense at the front of the pack now against Flux. Cinderella, Ratchet, and Rotten to the Corey working some defense. And Flux given is out with a Pittsburgh lead. I think we've pretty much seen so far in the game that whenever Flux is out the jam, there is a Pittsburgh lead. Rotten to the Corey now has the jammer star for Black Rose. So Black Rose with a successful star pass over to their pivot. Scoring pass underway by Flux given, but Flux given calls off the jam. That's a 1-point jam. Or a 1-point scoring pass. 43 to 103 now. Okay, Black Rose starting this jam. 1 skater down in the box, so the Zombies have the pack advantage, and it's Mr. Sergai. It is Mr. Sergai getting past Cinderella, getting those two whistles. Jamming for Black Rose. Let's see who we've got with the jammer star. Well, Mr. Sergai coming in. Oh, Mr. Sergai is getting a 4-on penalty. This is probably the first jammer penalty that is being called on a Pittsburgh jammer. We have right now 21-21 Dangle Sauce jamming for Black Rose. So Mr. Sergai is seated. That's going to release Dangle Sauce. Dangle Sauce finding some speed in that pack. 4-point scoring pass completed by Dangle Sauce. Dangle Sauce picking up the speed now. Jackson and Dragon Body working side by side in the back of the pack, trying to slow down Dangle Sauce. Dangle Sauce comes in and just about powers his way through the front of the pack, but Jackson sends him out of bounds once again. And Dangle Sauce recovers from those hits by Jackson, gets back into the pack, forces his way through. So another 4 points on the board for Black Rose. Compliments of Dangle Sauce. Dangle's now coming in for his 3rd round of points. Jackson sends Dangles out of bounds. Now Jackson drawing all the way to the back of the pack, forcing Dangles to reset. And Dangles, I think that action just motivates him to skate even faster because he comes out with a 4th round of points completed. So likely the highest scoring jam so far in the game for Black Rose with Dangle Sauce. Now Dangle Sauce is at lead. It looks like Dangle Sauce here might have collided with Kitty Black, but I think everyone's going to be okay. Oh no, Dangles is being called off on a jammer penalty. So that is a 12-point jam for Black Rose. That brings them up to 55, and Pittsburgh is still at 103. So a scoreless jam for the Zombies now. Black Rose down a blocker. 13:57 Hawk has the star on a power start. Britton Barrett sends Hawk out of bounds. Hawk resets. The back of the pack comes back in. Comes through on the apex and picks up lead. Okay, so Dangle Sauce on his final 10 seconds of the penalty. Hawk back in. Hawk meets all 4 Black Rose blockers there. Grit, Barrett, Meanie, Dye, and Sparky. Has proven to be a force to be reckoned with in that defense, so Hawk goes for the call-off. Hey, Baked has joined us here in the chat. That is one of our Derby moms. Baked is the mother of our Black Rose Rebellion Junior number 32 Beans. Always a great supporter of our adult league as well as our juniors. 2-point jam by Pittsburgh before that jam was called off. Now we got number 00 Flux given. And number 78 from Black Rose, that's Windover. We have yet to see Flux Given jam and not get lead. So Flux Given has shown us that that Flux is a very effective jammer, some very great offense and footwork. A star pass over to number 25 Sugar before that jam is called off, but Black Rose doesn't score any points. Now Baked is cheering for Beans, even though Beans is not actually here playing today. Couple more years though, right? So Beans is one of our level 3 junior skaters for the Rebellion, and recently, in the past 6 months or so, celebrated a 16th birthday. So we've got her for about 2 or 3 more seasons before we have to let her go to the adults. Kitty Black jamming for the Pittsburgh Zom-Bees. Kitty Black, the captain today of the Zom-Bees, and number 64 Cruzella has the star for the Black Rose Riveters. Our pack pretty tight and stagnant right now. A lot of good defense on both sides. Sparky breaks through to the front of the pack, and Sparky and Meanie are working side by side with some very fluid blocking. Meanie, though, being called off on a clockwise block penalty as Meanie has taken down Kitty Black. Now Grit and Barrett Sparky is being joined by Dye, number 212. And it's some very effective blocking. Kitty Black is sent out of bounds and is forced to come back around the apex. Dye and Sparky are both forcing Kitty Black to reset at the back. Cruzella, the jammer for Black Rose, has to take on all 4 Pittsburgh Zom-Bees blockers. Dangle Sauce, the pivot, is in there trying to break up that wall, but Dozer and Thunderbottom just keeping a hold of one another, keeping that defense strong. Now Kitty Black comes in from comes out of the pack. Looks like there's no lead to Kitty Black because of a removed helmet cover. So Black Rose still has the ability to get lead with Cruzella if Cruzella can get past Pittsburgh's defense. Pittsburgh walling up all of their defensive blockers at the back of the pack, though. Thunderbottom and Dozer and Hawk all just holding solid against Cruzella. Oh, Cruzella tries to get past Thunderbottom. Thunderbottom took a bit of a tumble there and also sent Cruzella down. Penalty box vacates. Black Rose gains one more blocker and a pivot. Kitty Black pulls out a 4-point pass just as we hear 4 whistles to end the jam. Another streak of scoreless jams by Black Rose. They're still stuck at 55. Pittsburgh at 113. Mr. Sergai out there with the jammer star for the Zom-Bees. And let's see, we got number 411 Beauty and a Beast jamming for the Riveters. And 42 Cinderella putting it on 42 Mr. Sergai, but Mr. Sergai is our lead jammer. Beauty and a Beast stuck in the pack. She's still on her initial pass. Beauty and a Beast is knocked out of bounds on the inside. Mr. Sergai called off on a back block. So no longer a lead jammer. Beast has also removed her helmet cover. So we're going to have a 2-minute jam. Okay, we got some penalties now being called. Goody Two-Shoe being called off on a penalty. So Black Rose now down a blocker. Mr. Sergai is preparing to re-enter the pack after that earlier penalty. You can see Olive Havoc there standing still. Okay, number 100, Dragon Body, sending Beast out of bounds, but it looks like Dragon Body might have also gone out of bounds, so Beast was allowed to re-enter in front. Beast has that star back on her helmet now as she's winding up for a scoring pass. Mr. Sergai coming back in from that earlier penalty. So both jammers are back on the track, and I believe they are both in point-scoring positions. Rod of the Glory sending Mr. Sergai out of bounds and forcing the reset. Now Beast at the front of the pack. Beast taking on their 100 Dragon Body. Dragon Body sends Beast out of bounds. Dragon Body now coming all the way to the back. Just dancing on that 20-foot out-of-play limit. Oh, and Dragon Body puts a hit on Beast, but that's not legal. So Dragon Body going to the box. Beast now allowed to re-enter. Our jam is over. All right, we're going to have Hawk here versus number 2121, Dangle Sauce. Zombies are down, Dragon Body. Dragon Body is seated in the box from that earlier contact that was made against Beast. So Dangle Sauce is up at the front of the pack, but Dangles has to take on Jackson and Dozer, two very strong, very seasoned blockers for the Pittsburgh Zom-Bees before Dangles can get lead. Now Dozer is just guarding that outside line. Oh, and Dangles gets past Jackson and picks up a Black Rose Rollers lead. Dragon Body coming out of the box now. Everybody back on the track. We're back to some 5-on-5 derby. Oh, Dangles goes to the box. It wasn't actually called off. That was a hit. Dragon Body with that hit on Dangles. And Dangles is in the pack. This is going to be a scoring pass for Black Rose. And I believe Hawk is stuck on this initial pass. Ratchet holding up a tripod. Sugar is working the butt of that tripod. And I believe, let's see what we got Sparky doing some defense as well. So a very good roster of defensive blockers. Sugar actually making a hit on Hawk, sending Hawk out of bounds on the infield. So Hawk is going to have to re-enter behind Sugar. Sugar rolling all the way to the back of the pack, freezing Hawk at the back. Dangle Sauce also at the back, but Black Rose throwing a tripod. Oh, and Dangles with that nice skating action takes that outside line, still in bounds, completes a 4-point pass. I'm just saying, Baked, we could have Beans on the mic with me today. I mean, last time I announced we had Blueberry, and at the last game we actually had a couple different kids with me. We had Icebox and Twig and Ange Jovi kind of sharing the other mic. So I'm just saying. All right, that jam is over now. We're at about 14 and a half minutes to go. We're in the final quarter of today's game. Pittsburgh is at 125. Hey, that's 125 is a very good number for Pittsburgh. And Black Rose, they're up to 64. Speaking of 125, my ex-junior is not here skating for Pittsburgh today. I'm kind of upset about that. 0-0 Flux Given has that star for the Zombies, but Gritton Barrett working the top of a tripod there against Flux. Oh, and Flux goes down. Let's see what we've got. Well, it's close, but I think Flux, there might have been the question of a penalty there, but Flux looks like was taken down, but it stayed on the line, so that's inbounds. It's good. It's a good initial pass. Gritton Barrett and Sparky work ganging up against Flux. Sparky makes one last hit on the Flux, but Flux stays inbounds. A lot of tripping going on by Flux as that jam was called off. Well, I guess Beans has somewhere else he'd rather be today. All right, so Black Rose Riveters going for a team timeout. So if you're a Black Rose Rollers fan and you are in our South Central Pennsylvania area, mark your calendars. August 6th, we are having our next home game. That's going to be a doubleheader, 2 back-to-back games taking on Steel City, the other team from Pittsburgh. Our next official game will be in Ohio. In about 3 weeks, we're going out to play Akron. Akron hosting us and Youngstown, formerly known as Little Steel. Hey, our friend Cherry Bomb out there. So we're doing some traveling here the next few weeks. And then the next morning, there's going to be some junior derby action for our juniors here, the Black Rose Rebellion and Crooked River, and I believe 1 or 2 more juniors teams. So Baked should definitely get Beans ready to do some derby here in a few weeks. Okay, Jackson coming out with the Jammer Star for the Zom-Bees. And look, number 64, Cruzella coming out to jam for the Riveters. Oh, Cruzella knocked out of bounds. Looks like Dozer did that. And that allows Jackson to break out and pick up a Pittsburgh lead. Cruzella still fighting to complete her initial pass. Thunderbottom guarding the line. Now Dragon Body also doing some defensive blocking. Pittsburgh has proven to be very quick with their reforming their defensive wall to the front of the pack. Both jammers are out of the pack now. Here comes Jackson coming in on the scoring pass. Jackson does have 2 points at the end of that jam. Scoreless jam for Black Rose now. They're at still a 64. I believe we have Beauty and the Beast back out there for Black Rose. It's hard to tell because she's so short. On the other side of the track here, we've got number 42, Mr. Sergai. Mr. Sergai is taking on all 4 blockers from Black Rose. Rotten to the Corey, who is one of our Pennsylvania All-Star skaters, blocking right now. We've got Ratchet with about 10 years of derby behind her. We've also got Cinderella, and I believe we might have Grit and Barrett in there. If it's not Grit and Barrett, it's probably going to be Die. I have a lot of blockers in front of me. But either way, Mr. Sergai is being denied breaking out. Oh, okay. So Ron Corey kind of brings Mr. Sergai up to the front of the pack, and Mr. Sergai picking up lead for the Zom-Bees. Beauty and the Beast taken out of bounds by Jackson. Looks like Ratchet has sent Mr. Sergai out of bounds, and she is forcing Mr. Sergai to recycle. Oh, a little bit of a tumble there on the track. Let's see what we got. I don't believe there's going to be a penalty, so it looks like Goody Two-Shoe might have gone down and unintentionally taken down Mr. Sergai. Mr. Sergai called it off, and looks like everything was good and clean, so there won't be any penalty issued. So Mrs. Beans here, we call her Baked. She is giving a shout out to our referee. So let's run through the refs here. A lot of our officials working the game are actually skaters who are training up to be officials, and we can't praise them enough for doing that. As everyone knows, the ref situation, especially in our area, is pretty dire. We're down to just a handful of refs. So we have some of our skaters stepping in to fill these positions, and we have, I think, 1 or 2 refs coming to us from Pittsburgh. So we've got our own head referee here, French Thwarter. French Thwarter, as Lily's signaling, dangles off on a penalty. So this is a jammer penalty for Black Rose. At the same time, Hawk, jamming for Pittsburgh, is also called off on a penalty. So both jammers going to the box. There is not going to be a lead jammer for this jam. Hawks penalty is going to release Dangle Sauce from the box. Dangle Sauce still on this initial pass. Oh, Dozier comes in for a hit on Dangle Sauce. Dangle Sauce rides that inside line on his skates, and it is legal and inbound, so initial pass complete. Hawk getting a hit by Cinderella. Cinderella goes down, but Hawk stays up, so both jammers complete their initial. They can score points, but they cannot call off the jam. Dangle Sauce coming to Derby from playing hockey for a number of years, so no stranger to skates and skating skills. Dangle's coming out with 4 points for Black Rose. Oh, there's a bit of a collision there. And it looks like, let's see, it looks like Ario Meanwagon might have tried to get in the way of Dangle Sauce, but both of those skaters went down. Thunderbottom now receiving a star pass from the Pittsburgh Jammer. So nothing lost on a star pass if there was no lead to begin with. Okay, so I'm getting word that Beans is watching our live feed. So hey, welcome to the game, Beans. Dangle Sauce being called off on another Jammer penalty. So I think 3 penalties here just in the past couple minutes. Pittsburgh will start this on a power start, and the Zombies are going for a team timeout. So yeah, we do have a number of our skaters working up to fulfill these non-skating officials and referee positions here. Something that Derby desperately needs right now, and we're glad to have people making the initiative. So we've got our head NSO, Matteo. We've also got Rage, who's our jam timer. We have Moxie, Bacon, our scorekeeper. Stretch working the scoreboard. Penalty box, we have Ram. We've also got Sarah Vicious, Tank, PTSD, Ashley Thomas, and Austin. Skating referees today, our head referee, French Thwarter. We got Dash Ketchum. Dash, no stranger to Derby either. Dash is working the front inside pack and is also one of our Pennsylvania All-Stars skaters. We've got Olive. Olive's one of our jam referees, and so is Jen Hex. We've got Bio and Spock and Awe. So now there is an official review. Now, normally during official reviews, I'll go inside and get the details, but I am trapped on both sides of me, so that is not going to be happening. Hopefully, let's see if the officials come back and give me some clue as what's going on. This official review, all I can tell so far is that it was called by Pittsburgh. Kitty Black is in there explaining their side of this story. Frenchie is usually pretty good about filling me in on the details of the review, even if I don't go out there. So we should have some information here in just a moment. So our officials now are kind of breaking off to discuss whatever the concern was. Got about 8 minutes left to our game. Beast is out there talking to the bench coach today for the Riveters, Jackie Treehorn, on the inside of the track, and our referees are still discussing this official review. I see Olive Havoc discussing something here very passionately. Frenchie is signaling for the bench coaches and the captains to come back in. So let's see. It looks like there is at least a ruling on the review, and Frenchie is explaining to Kitty something. And it looks like I'm just kind of guessing that they're discussing some sort of contact penalty. Everybody is taking their seats back on the bench here, so looks like we're gonna move on to our game here in a few minutes. So we're getting some details here by head referee Fred Stwarter about this official review. Pittsburgh called this review asking if whether or not a back block had been occurred by one of the Black Rose Riveter skaters. When the officials got together, they discussed what they saw, and the contact was to a legal target zone, which was likely what looks like it was to the side, not to the back illegal blocking zone. So they will have lost that review. And right off the bat, a track cut being called to Flux Given, number 00. So Flux is going to have a seat in the penalty box, and Dangle Sauce is back up, re-entering the pack from those couple earlier jammer penalties. So because Dangle started the jam in the box, he is eligible for lead jammer. Olive Havoc standing there very, very seriously, not cracking the least bit of a smile, and Dangle Sauce breaks out of the pack for a Black Rose lead. Both jammers coming out of the box now. They're in point scoring positions. Flux Given gets past Meany. Passes all four Black Rose blockers. Scores 4 points. Dangle Sauce taken out of bounds by Jackson. Jackson goes for the call up before Flux can score any points. Okay, Pittsburgh still with a pretty heavy lead now, 141 over Black Rose 74. About 6.5 minutes to go. Mr. Sergai back out there, and I believe Mr. Sergai is taking on number 78 Windover from the Black Rose. Black Rose running their entire defensive strength at the front of the pack, but Dragon Body comes in trying to break up that wall for Mr. Sergai. Snap Sabbath trying to hold still on her skates. Goody Two-Shoe sent out of bounds by Dragon Body. Ratchet guarding the inside line, but Mr. Sergai just literally sneaks right past Ratchet on the inside line and picks up a Zom-Bees lead. Mr. Sergai now on a scoring pass. Windover completes a star pass over to Sugar. Sugar certainly receiving her share of star passes in this game. This has to be like star pass 7 or 8. This is not, we don't normally see this many star passes in a game. Mr. Sergai calls off the jam. That's a 3-point scoring pass. Cruzella out there for Black Rose with the jammer star. Let's see. This is a new face on the jammer line. We have Paul Perrier jamming for the Pittsburgh Zom-Bees. Cruzella, though, is our lead jammer. Meany chasing Paul out of bounds. Both jammers complete their initial passes. Cruzella in on a scoring pass for Black Rose, and she's up. Flux Given working some defense there along with Kitty Black. Flux Given goes to call off. Jen Hex blows the 2 whistles. Let's see what we've got. A 3-point scoring pass by Cruzella. 2 points scored by Paul Barrier. So we have a shout out going to Cruz from Beans. Look, unfortunately, we don't have the in-house audio here at the Y. So everything that I'm saying. Hey, no, that's me. Thanks, Nitro, for that. My battery died in my transmitter here. I'm still using the batteries from Battle of the All-Stars. They're a few weeks old. So between jams here, I'm going to go ahead and swap out my batteries. So you might hear my mic drop out for a moment. I kind of lost track of what's going on here in the jam. Thunderbottom has that star for Pittsburgh. Black Rose has their entire defensive strength at the front of the pack. Goody Two-Shoe kind of guarding the line, and Thunderbottom might be sent out of bounds, but Black Rose is losing Goody Two-Shoe to a clockwise block penalty. And that jam is over. Okay, and I'm back with a fresh set of batteries here in my transmitter. 2 minutes to go to our game, down to the minute here, and Dangle Sauce back on the jammer line. Dangle Sauce powering his way through. He gets past Case of the Mondays. Jen Hex blows 2 whistles. Let's see who we've got. We've got more 42, Mr. Sergai. And Mr. Sergai makes a jammer-on-jammer hit there, setting Dangle Sauce down. So it looks like Dangle Sauce certainly has figured out the jamming game of Derby just in the second half of the game alone. Pittsburgh walling up with a tripod against Dangles, but Dangles out with 4 points. Oh, and Dangle Sauce comes in full speed ahead. Now Paul Barrier sends Dangles out of bounds just as he goes to complete that scoring pass. So now Dangle still has those points, but that pass was not yet complete. And he recycles in the back of the pack, comes back in, and our camera operator doing some very loud cheering. Hey, not an official position, so it's totally cool. Dangle's now coming in. Case of the Mondays is working some solid defense there. Phoenix also working in this tripod, and it's effective. Dangle Sauce is sent out of bounds, coming around the apex. Paul Barrier called off on a penalty, so this is one less blocker for Dangle Sauce to have to get by. Yes, so Zoe is on the camera. Well, Zoe is actually watching the feed and doing all of the live feed things. So Zoe is doing the typing here and kind of doing the on-screen displays and stuff behind the scenes. Now that's still a very important position because I couldn't do this by myself. I don't know how any of this stuff works. All I do is talk. Kitty Black now clutching that jammer star in their hands. There's 4 whistles. That brings us to the end of the game. Looking at an unofficial score of Black Rose 96, Pittsburgh 154. We're going to give the officials a minute to check with our scorekeepers and go over all the math, make sure everything looks good. I'm not sure if we're doing MVPs for the game. Well, there were awards, so I'm guessing that there will be some MVPs here. Jen Hex is joining us to verify the points are good. All right, Frenchie has spoken, blown that whistle. That's the end of the game. We have an official score. Black Rose Riveters at 96, but Pittsburgh taking that lead at 154. So that's the end of today's game. It's still daylight here in Hanover, Pennsylvania. We're hovering right above the 5 p.m. mark. Thank you for everybody who came and watched our game today. There's a lot of Derby going on today. There's Derby here up northeast of us. There is Derby at Wilkes-Barre Scranton taking on Bucksmont. And down south of us, our junior friends, Mars, have a little bit of a tournament going on. So a lot of stuff going on. A lot of people filling in these official positions. Zoe getting some love from Mrs. Beans here on the chat. Black Rose taking their lap here around the track. Okay, Pittsburgh able to take home their victory today when they go back to the Neville Rollerdrome. Pittsburgh is playing a lot of Derby this year. Just in the past month and a half, they probably had 3 or 4 games between the Undead, the A-Team, and then the Zom-Bees. And a number of crossover skaters for both those two teams are here. We've got Dozer and Dragon Body, a lot of those names that we're used to seeing. So thank you for Pittsburgh for coming out here and playing us here at Black Rose. I know that's that's a drive. It's not a fun drive, but we're glad to have everybody here who made this game possible. So once again, our next home game is going to be at the Magic Elm Skateland in August 6th. That's going to be a doubleheader against Steel City. And maybe we'll see some of our Pittsburgh friends here in a few weeks at Akron, Ohio. We're tearing down the track. I guess that's going to be the end of the feed. So thank you for everybody who tuned in to watch us, and you have a good day.